In a world full of distractions, responsibilities, and noise, it's easy to forget the simple principles that give life its true value. We chase success, we pursue goals, we measure achievements, but beneath it all, there are timeless truths that shape the quality of our lives. And sometimes, all it takes is a moment of clarity, 4 small words that begin with a simple if, to change everything. If you learn, if you try, if you stay, if you care. These aren't just phrases. They are the foundation of a life well lived. They are choices, decisions you make daily. And if you master these 4 ifs, you don't just survive, you thrive. You don't just exist, you inspire. You don't just pass time, you make it count. Have you ever paused just for a moment and asked yourself, what really makes life meaningful? What gives you the strength to get up every morning with purpose in your heart and fire in your eyes? What makes the difference between just being alive and truly living? It's not the bank account, it's not the job title, it's not the applause or the trophies. Life becomes worthwhile not when we add more to our schedules, but when we add more meaning to our actions. And the truth is, meaning often comes not from what we do, but from how we live. These 4 ifs, learn, try, stay, and care, are not abstract ideals. They are practical, powerful, and personal. If you learn, you grow, you stretch your understanding, elevate your thinking, and prepare yourself for whatever comes next. You stop just surviving and start thriving with wisdom. If you try, you act. You move beyond doubt. You take risks. You fail forward. You turn dreams into effort and effort into impact. If you stay, you build. You don't abandon the journey at the first sign of struggle. You persist. You finish. You rise through repetition and resilience. If you care, you connect. You bring your heart into the equation. You love, you support, you give. You bring meaning not just to your own life, but to the lives around you. These ifs are a compass. When followed together, they lead you out of confusion and into clarity, out of chaos and into direction, out of mere existence and into a life that matters. Number 1, if you learn, life becomes richer. The first if is simple, but it holds the power to transform everything. If you learn, life becomes richer. Learning isn't confined to a classroom. It's not just about lectures or textbooks. Real learning happens in everyday moments, in your conversations, in your setbacks, in your quiet reflections. It's about staying curious, about keeping your eyes open, about being humble enough to admit that you don't know everything, and brave enough to seek what you don't yet understand. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you learned something that shook your assumptions, that changed how you saw the world? Are you actively seeking growth, or are you just coasting through routines? Because the harsh truth is, when you stop learning, you stop growing. You get stuck, you fall behind. Your mind dulls, your vision narrows, and your potential slowly fades. But when you choose to learn, everything shifts. Life becomes deeper, richer, fuller. Learn from your failures. Learn from the people around you. Learn from those who've walked paths you haven't even stepped on yet. And don't be afraid to unlearn what no longer serves you. That takes courage, but it's the key to making space for better truths. Whether it's a book, a mentor, a mistake, or a quiet moment of reflection, learning keeps your spirit alive. It keeps your purpose sharp. So make it a lifestyle. Don't just seek answers. Ask better questions. Stay open. Stay hungry. Because if you keep learning, you'll never stop evolving, and life will never stop surprising you. Number 2, if you try, life becomes an adventure. The second if is where motion begins. If you try, life becomes an adventure. You can fill your mind with knowledge, stack books to the ceiling, listen to every motivational video out there. But if you never act, nothing changes. Trying is the bridge between potential and progress. It's what turns maybe one day into I'm doing it now. Trying doesn't guarantee success, but it guarantees experience. And every time you try, you grow, you sharpen your instincts, you gain clarity. Even when you stumble, you learn what doesn't work, and that's just as valuable as knowing what does. But here's the hard truth. Most people don't try. They let fear keep them quiet. They let comfort keep them still. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect version of themselves, and that moment never comes. Ask yourself, what are you holding back from simply because you're scared it might not work? What dream, what idea, what change have you put on the shelf because you thought you weren't ready? Trying is not about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to move anyway. Launch the project, apply for the opportunity, start the conversation, say yes, say no, just try. You'll be amazed how life opens up the moment you stop waiting and start walking. So try, fall, learn, adjust, try again. Because every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress. And if you keep trying, you'll turn your life into a journey worth remembering. 3. If you stay, life becomes grounded. The third if is all about endurance. If you stay, life becomes grounded. We live in a world of quick exits and easy distractions. People start things with excitement, new goals, relationships, routines. But the moment it gets difficult, they retreat. They chase the next shiny thing. They quit when results don't come fast enough. But real fulfillment doesn't come from starting, it comes from staying. Ask yourself, what could you have completed? What strength could you have built? What life could you be living right now if you had just stayed committed? Staying doesn't mean settling. It means holding on to what matters, even when it's not easy. It means being consistent, showing up when it's not convenient. It's about finishing what you start, not for the applause, but for the growth that happens along the way. Because the truth is, grit beats talent when talent doesn't stay the course. Staying teaches you patience. It teaches you discipline. It builds roots so your success isn't just tall, it's stable. The strongest trees don't grow overnight. They stay planted, they weather storms, and one day they bloom in ways no one expected. So when it gets hard, stay. When others quit, stay. When doubt creeps in, stay grounded. Because if you stay, you finish. If you finish, you build confidence. And when you build confidence, nothing can shake you. 4. If you care, life becomes beautiful. The final if is the one that brings it all together. If you care, life becomes beautiful. We're told to hide our feelings, to be cold to survive, to hustle without heart. But the people who live with meaning are the ones who choose to care, even when the world tells them not to. When you care, you show up differently. You put your soul into what you do. You pay attention. You love more. You listen more. You lift others up instead of stepping over them. Ask yourself, what do you care about so deeply that you'd fight for it? Show up for it, even when no one's watching? Because caring is not a weakness. It's power. It means you're alive. It means you feel. It means you're building something that lasts beyond money or fame. Care about your craft. Care about your people. Care about your principles. Care enough to do things the right way, even when it's harder. Because when you care, you connect. You give meaning not just to your life, but to the lives you touch. The people who truly change the world, the ones who leave legacies, they don't do it with apathy. They do it with heart, with intention, with care. So lead with care, work with care, love with care. Because when you care, you don't just create success, you create beauty. And beauty is what the world remembers. So remember this, if you learn, you stay sharp. If you try, you grow. If you stay, you finish. If you care, you rise. These 4 ifs may sound simple, but together they hold the secret to a meaningful life. It's not about chasing perfection. It's about embracing progress. It's about living fully, giving deeply, and becoming someone you're proud of. So today, choose to learn, choose to try, choose to stay, and above all, choose to care. Because a life built on these 4 ifs is a life well lived.